We like old adverts.
Hello and welcome to another episode of We Like Old Adverts. I'm Jim Campbell. I'm joined as ever by Joe and Conaldini. And today we have a special guest. It's Marcus Speller from the Football Ramble podcast, no less, where you may also recognise this beautiful face. So that's not what we're here to do, though. We're here to talk about stupid old adverts. And if you want to see us do that sort of thing, hit the subscribe button because you've got loads of these and they're all, frankly, brilliant. So let's get stuck in.
Well, the game was heading for extra time. I just had to get the big fella off the bench.
Could this be their last chance now? In it comes! Monsters of the far post! He scored! The Honey Monster scored in the last minute! He's in the money! It's the Honey!
Great goal, Honey Monster!
That's football, Kev. Sugar Puffs are delicious light puffs of wheat dressed in little honey jackets.
That's the bowl. Now for the cup. Excuse me.
He turns! He lifts the cup! And Wembley goes monster mad!
Oh, beautiful. What a man.
I think it's worth noting that this advert came out in 1996, the year in which Newcastle finished second in the league. So, I mean, this is like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doing this now. It's just unfathomable, isn't it? It's so beautifully 90s.
I'd love to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer bring the big fella off the bench. That's such a great reveal because you're thinking, oh, is it Alan Shearer, Faustino Asprilla, Les Fed? Oh, it's the Honey Monster.
Yeah, one can forget about Keegan just how, what a massive star he's been all his professional life. He could sell anything, really.
Yeah.
He really, really could because he's so genuine and sincere. And actually, with footballers or people in football, obviously he's a manager, was a manager back in those days. His performance isn't bad.
It's not bad. Yeah, I agree.
Bad, and it was quite a demanding role as they go.
Yeah, he's from Doncaster. Yeah. So my girlfriend's from Doncaster, and she went to the same school that he went to. And one of the teachers there, I think you're an RE teacher. It must have been an RE teacher because on the wall he had two pictures. One was of the Pope, and the other was of Kevin Keegan.
I love that.
Yeah, the old Catholic football fan. You know, in Ireland they have the Pope and Jack Charlton, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, one has to say with the Honey Monster, you know, it's a great finish. You would have thought they'd have more than one defender marking the Honey Monster, though, wouldn't you?
Well, he's thrown the big man on late, though, isn't he? So they have a plan for this.
The Honey Monster's not even on the first team.
Well, you're absolutely right, Joe. With finishing like that, why on earth has he been left out of the starting side?
But it's not. It's kind of I think it's a kind of a workaday goal. It's a good goal. But you could have scored like a 40-yard screamer, but it's just a kind of workaday header.
There's something way funnier about it being like a sort of industrial header, like a big dunk.
Dare I suggest, in among all this nonsense, that it's more believable that he scored a close-range header than a 40-yarder?
Yeah. You don't want to be silly. One of my highlights of the whole thing is where... he goes, "That's football, Kev," as if that's like a thing people say. Like no one says that.
And also, that's his manager he's referring to. It's a bit disrespect. The Honey Monster loses some sort of, I suppose, you know, credit points there with me because he comes on, wins the match, absolutely. But don't talk to your manager like that, especially a manager who's given him a go where other managers might have thought, a Honey Monster, you say, and I think we'll just settle. We'll just settle with what we've got, actually, you know. But Keegan's already he's ready to twist rather than stick.
It's ironic as well, isn't it? Because famously they were going great guns, they were doing really, really well, and they didn't really need any more attacking players. He signed the Honey Monster, and everyone's like, "Oh, this might disrupt the team," and so it proved to be. They ended up missing out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've done the backdrop of this advert well.
Yes,
it looks like Wembley. I mean, I don't know whether a part of it was shot in Wembley. Who knows? Yeah, it does look like it. So again, it all looks and feels actually pretty damn good. And as you know, you boys have done some footballers adverts before with Wayne Rooney's performances and whatnot. Honestly, this is a solid sort of 7, maybe even dare I suggest 8 out of 10.
Goal, Honey Monster!
It is, because also he plays a couple of roles, doesn't he? He's got his talking head role where he's in like the office at Wembley.
Yeah.
His turtleneck on, and he's also got all the stuff on the pitch, and it's pretty good. I think
it's a better performance than when he lost his rag to Alex Ferguson.
I don't know about that. I don't know if anyone's ever topping that. It's also sad that, like, would this be the only silverware he's ever lifted?
I was about to say he looks really uncomfortable lifting that trophy, which is, but he's method acted for that role, hasn't he?
But he didn't get to lift it though, because the Honey Monster palmed him off.
Excuse me?
He turns, he lifts the cup on Wembley.
You're suggesting the Honey Monster has kind of said, look, Kevin, or Kev, as he calls him, you're breaking with protocol, actually. I'm going to have to jump in, but I don't want to mug you off too much. So here's a box of a box of cereal. Yeah.
But I also like how the Honey Monster has had to go off and have a bowl of sugar puffs
while the game's still happening.
Yeah.
He comes on stage and goes like, there's injury time left, Honey Monster. You're a lunatic.
Is maybe Honey Fiend a more appropriate name? I think he's got a bit of a problem here.
Honey offender, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, honey problem.
Mm-hmm.
Man with a honey problem.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten as well that for a time, Sugar Puffs claimed that they had little honey jackets on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I like
working in the factory, putting everyone on. It would take ages. It'd be a long shift, that.
I like that. What's the commentator's name? It's quite a name.
Jonathan Pierce.
Yeah.
Jonathan Pierce. He says, once he scores the goal, he says, the Honey Monster's in the money, which I thought was quite sweet, like a little kid, like a wide-eyed child thinking to be rich when they're a footballer.
Was that not the start in the mid-90s of too much money flooding into the game? And that's Jonathan Pierce has got sucked in by that because he scored a goal, the Honey Monster, the last minute of the cup, and he should be, just taking in the glory and the adulation from the fans. And then immediately Pierce is talking about the money bonus that he's going to be getting from it, which I think was a sad indictment of the changing times.
It is. Now, Jonathan Pierce is in The Sopranos.
Really?
Yeah, because there's a point where Tony Soprano is inexplicably just got Robot Wars on the telly in the background, so you can hear Jonathan Pierce in The Sopranos. Really weird.
I thought you meant like he was actually in it, sort of thing. Is it?
I think it counts.
Like a cameo. I was like, bloody, yeah, no, it does
He's in
count.
it more than I am.
Yeah.
Oh, dearie me.
The Newcastle kit that he's got on, it's a very big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think they added just a few more stripes to make it wider? Or is it just like a bigger kit that they've just had made, like printed that way?
I think football kits cater to gentlemen of that size.
Do you think?
If you've ever been to a game, and obviously not recently, you'd be surprised at the size they go up to, considering what they actually are and who originally wears them.
It blew my mind that they could fit one on such a hairy mass of a body as well.
Yeah.
He's not just bulk, is he? He's got a lot of fluff. But he's warm under there.
He would take a while in the shower, would he not? The post-match shower.
Can you imagine how terrifying he'd look when he was wet? He would look absolutely monstrous.
Does he shake
like
himself?
he's coming out of a swamp.
Would he shake himself like a dog to try it?
He probably
He's actually just normal size when he's wet. He's just like a really skinny man.
You know what? It's interesting. I am. When you're a child, if you ever go and if you go to some sort of fun fair or theme park, and there is like somebody dressed up as some sort of character, I'm quite sure that if you were to kind of hug the Honey Monster or something equivalent, you'd sort of go, "Oh, it's just a bloke inside." Do you know what I mean? Like he's a sort of a regular size where you expect it, but you're right. He could just be regular size under all that hair.
Yeah. The thought of him eating makes me sick.
Yeah. Well, you saw him eating in the advert.
Yeah, true.
Do you mean eating anything other than sugar puffs?
Just eating, I mean, going out for a romantic meal and having pasta or something, just anything. Yeah. Just having, just the fur, the felt, swallowing.
Eating people even.
Don't start that.
That's libel.
All rumours that, Jim.
He's a monster.
He's a vegetarian monster. He lives off cereal. He's harmless.
Well, maybe that's why he has to have so much of it to just like calm the bloodlust.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe though, I mean, sugar puffs by their own name have a lot of sugar in. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to get in trouble with the company there because they are called sugar puffs. So perhaps we see footballers like you remember Rio Ferdinand eating his Jaffa cakes on the pitch to get that instant sort of sugar hit. We know that I think cricketers kind of keep, maybe like have a pocket full of jelly babies or something like that when they're on the field of play to keep. And so maybe he's thinking, well, for an instant sugar hit, that's what he does. I mean, I admit the milk might not be a good idea for your average person, but by definition, again, he's not a person.
And there we have it.
Or have I just discriminated against honey monsters? Are we going to see a march? Honey monsters?
Let us know in the comments. Is Marcus cancelled?
Oh, bloody Nora, what have I done?
So thank you very much for joining us, Marcus, and you guys at your laptops or phones or whatever. Marcus and I obviously are on the Football Ramble podcast. You can find us there. Marcus, that's not the only stuff you do though, is it? So where else can people find you if they want to see more of what you do?
Oh, it's very kind of you to say. I do a podcast called Answerable Questions with Questionable Answers. AQQA for those who prefer abbreviated things, where we talk all manner of things. We answer a question every week, and it's an absolute riot, let me tell you. You'd be ridiculous to miss out.
Cool. Well, thank you very much to all of you for watching to the end. You are our absolute favourites, not like those dicks that stop after a little while. So yeah, do subscribe, tell all your mates, have a lovely time, and we'll see you soon.
I will love it if we beat them. Love it.